Hey there, hi, welcome to the channel. I am Garrett and thank you for spending some time with me today because in this video, we're talking all about some dated design that you should keep and also what's one of the best pieces from each of the most popular design styles that you should be looking for, keeping, considering because they can be so great. The first style we're going to talk about is, of course, traditional design, and that style is very popular. A lot of people like traditional design. A lot of people love modern design too, and that's okay. But like one of the best pieces from traditional interior design, in my opinion, that maybe some people think is dated, but you should be keeping, really are any form of case good. And a case good is essentially a wood piece of furniture, like a cabinet, for example. I love a traditional style cabinet because they're just really good. They offer a lot of storage, and because of the overwhelming size of them, they have a lot of detail there. Now, when I say traditional, I don't mean like Tuscan traditional. That's something completely different. I'm talking about classical traditional styles that we all know and some of us love. Like colonial, one of my favorites is Georgian. All of those styles are really great, a lot of the revivals, because they have slender lines and slim shapes, but they offer a lot of storage on these case good pieces. I think that these are really wonderful because it serves as a nice background and backdrop to a space, and it gives you an elegant, refined detail that you can then, completely contrast with other styles, and that's really cool. And a lot of these pieces also have interesting wood finishes to them. This is where you see a lot of mahogany. This is where you see a lot of walnut and even burl wood. And then you can combine other styles with it. Like I said, contemporary, modern, postmodern, that's all really cool because I like to do that in my house. A mix of styles is what's going to create personal style. If you're just saying like, this is the style I like and I want the whole house to be in that style, sweetheart, that's a theme. That's not a style, that's a theme, that's not your personal style. So don't go too heavy into one thing, but look for pieces that inspire you and that you really like to create your own style in your home. Now, the next thing we have to talk about that maybe some people think is dated, okay? But this style really offers the best of it are recliners, and that style is mid-century. We love mid-century design because it has a streamlined shape and it really is the bridge to modern design. And I think that's really great because once again, it's a transition from two different styles into each other and you can mix things together. But the mid-century recliner, in my opinion, really is so good because it sets the foundation. It inspires the recreation and new design in other recliners, right? Like, so if you take the Eames chair, for example, one of the most popular chairs, one of the most groundbreaking pieces of design, in my opinion, because it really represented a change from what that old style recliner is, like the big, comfy, oversized plush recliner, into something that is more structural, something that's more architectural, something that really defines the shape of the body and like looks at the ergonomics of your skeletal structure and then applies that to a piece of furniture. And I think that is really groundbreaking because it inspired a lot of other recliners, right? Like if you look at the stressless recliner, they're beautiful, people love them, it's a great product. And it really has a lot of the same lines and details and shapes as the Eames chair. I'm not saying the two of them are related, but like the Eames chair definitely opened the door for that to be created. So a mid-century style recliner is really incredible and beautiful. Something with that interesting shape that has that swivel style base on it, almost like an office chair, but then can be applied to a comfortable piece of furniture. That's something to me that's really groundbreaking. Now, I know a lot of people will say like, oh, the Eames chair is so expensive, or oh, I've seen it so many times it's overdone. Like sometimes people have something because it works, and you see it a lot of times because it really is as good as everybody makes it out to be. And in my opinion, this is one of those pieces. Now, everybody's home is a little different. It needs some customization. It needs something special and personal to them. So when you're deciding and you're looking for things in your home, when you're decorating, you might need a little bit of help and you might need some feedback from a designer, and I would be happy to offer my services to you. You can book a one-on-one virtual call with me where I can answer all of your design questions. I can solve some of those difficult problems and you can get some feedback on maybe what you're thinking about in your space. So be sure you head to the description box down below or go to intro.co/GarrettLeChic. Now, here is something that might be a little controversial and is something that not everybody is going to like, but I'm going to tell you, I stick by because, like I'm going to share with you how I feel and you have to know the truth. The next thing that's dated that a lot of people are over, that they don't like, that they think is out, but I will hold true and say is timeless, is postmodern sofas. I love them. I love a postmodern sofa because it once again was another period of time where things were just done differently and it really changed the way we live in our homes. That's when sofas and furniture in general got bigger and it got more plush, more upholstered, more comfortable and softer. And that still holds true today. Like, we want sofas that we can relax on. We want to be comfortable. And so this is really the first era where you see the postmodern style sofa, but it's not like, you know, the big comfy, oversized, plush Dunnes sofas. It's not like the big Tuscan sofas you saw. It was just oversized because it had a lot of shape to it, a lot of curve to it, a lot of upholstery, and really comfortable. And that's what I think is so great about a postmodern style sofa, is that you typically see them and they're a little oversized or overscaled, they're a little deeper, maybe they sit a little bit lower, but they have a lot of comfort to them. Even the sofa here in my studio, this is a postmodern style sofa, and it's really cool because it's a little thinner, but it has a lot of upholstery to it. The shapes, it's curved, everything about it. The back of it is curved, the arm of it is curved around, even the side of it is curved, the bench is curved. Like, it has all of these really beautiful sweeping shapes that make it very comfortable to sit in, even if it's not an extra deep sofa that's like made for lounging. So for my house, I love, you know, a traditional casework piece of furniture, right? I have a beautiful console table that I love. It used to be behind me in a lot of videos. Well, my sofa is very postmodern. It sits low, it's very plush, it's very stuffed and oversized, but it sits really low and has a low back on it. It's just a really cool piece. They contrast each other and they create such an interesting conversation in that space and this dynamic sort of contrast between the two that really inspires me and gets me excited. That's what postmodern sofas are really good for. They're comfortable, but they offer some interesting design that might contrast what you already have, and I think that's cool. Now, something else that some people will think is dated, some people are over, but I think is really good and we can take a lot of inspiration from is actually organic modern. Now, I will tell you that most of my design clients still want organic modern in some form. And that's really great because it's a style that I really love and I appreciate and I think could be elevated to the next level. And I love it when my clients push me to do that. But what is really good about organic modern is the color schemes. And I am so excited about them. Now, in my home personally, I like to have vibrant color, okay? Like bold, loud color. I just think it's more energetic and more exciting. For me personally, but that's not for everybody. Organic modern takes all of those same tones and just makes them so much more muted. And that's a really strong way to use color in your home if you're maybe adverse to that really bold color or you don't have the lighting to pull that off, right? Like you could lean moodier and all of a sudden all of those colors make more sense and there's more depth to them, there's a little more character. Now, what I will also say about organic modern is it's less about pattern and pattern mixing and contrast and more about these refined tones that blend into each other and have a really comfortable, relaxing feel. And at least in my opinion, that's easy to decorate with. Now, a lot of the colors you're gonna see in postmodern are going to be earth tones. So you have mossy greens, you have beautiful red browns and camels. You do have beiges and creams, of course, but I say lean into the depth a little bit more. A lot of the colors you see in organic modern were very popular in the 1970s, but you have to do them in a way that's a little more refined now and has a little bit of a brighter background, I'll say. So instead of painting everything brown, I'm gonna use that as an accent and then I'll paint things a creamier white that pulls from that tone to neutralize it a little bit. So that's really what I believe makes organic modern a timeless style, and that's why so many people gravitate towards it. Yes, there's some trendier takes on it that we've definitely steered clear of and moved away from, and that's good, but organic modern, not going anywhere. People love it. It is a timeless style mostly because of the color schemes and the way we can layer in additional styles into that and make it kind of our own personal thing. I love it, and I think that's epic. As a designer, I love every style out there, and I think there's a way to use it and make it look beautiful in your home or any space. Maybe not every style is for you. And I believe in personal style, which is why this is the place for everyone who loves design, and we would love to have you as a part of our GarrettLeChic family. So please take a moment, hit the subscribe button and join us. Become a part of our GarrettLeChic family. Give this video a like, give it a little bit of hype on the platform so it gets shared out there, and I would greatly appreciate if everyone who hits that subscribe button could share with me in the comment section down below so I can personally welcome you to the channel. Another style that I secretly love and a piece that is definitely not dated. People will say it's dated. People get rid of them all of the time. Like I see them on Facebook Marketplace everywhere, and no, I can't deal with that. Is actually contemporary. And the best part of contemporary design are accent chairs. And the reason I think that these are so great, the best part of it, they will never go out, they're always gonna be timeless, is because it's not normal furniture. It's not made like normal furniture. It uses engineering, it uses architecture and structure, and it really defines what this style is, in my opinion. Many of the chairs in this style use steel and chrome, sometimes iron, they use leather, they use all of these noble materials to create the structure of them because they push the boundaries in a way that requires that. And that for me is so exciting to see the boundaries being pushed, to see what can be created when you're using the best of every form of design is so interesting. But the reality is, I don't know, you guys, I see these pieces on Facebook Marketplace all of the time, and I'm like, why is this there? Like, how is this sitting there? And often it's because these pieces become trendy, they become so popular, they become mass produced and, kind of replicated by other companies and places. And then, they're a little oversaturated. But at the end of the day, just because something is oversaturated doesn't mean it's out, doesn't mean it's dated, doesn't mean it can't be made to look good. I genuinely believe there's a place for every piece of furniture. It might not be your house, okay? But there's a place that's gonna look good. And these are some of those pieces. Now, what I do like about these, what I also don't like about them is that sometimes you're limited in terms of the colors and the metal finishes on them. Like the contemporary style uses so much chrome. And right now we really like brass, we like iron, we like bronze, and you just don't see a lot of that in this contemporary style. So when you're looking for these pieces, keep in mind that you may need to mix metals to make them work. A little bit of a chrome accent here or there can make a space feel very elevated, so mixing some of that in to make this contemporary design work is a really good way to go about doing things. You also kind of want to stick in a similar niche. So in my home, if I'm gonna do a postmodern style sofa, maybe I'll do contemporary chairs, or maybe I'll do mid-century chairs because they have some of the similar lines and shapes, and then the casework pieces, the wood pieces of furniture will all be in a more traditional design. That's what I do because it feels natural to me. That's what challenging a perspective is all about. That's what pushing boundaries is all about. And I think the contemporary chair is the place you see that the most. Now, another style that is out, it's done, it's over. Like a lot of people say you're gonna see it come back, but you're not going to. But there's one really great part of it that I think you should be looking for, is Art Deco. Now, Art Deco design is very interesting, and I think the best part of Art Deco really are the accessories. And that's not to say, you can't have a beautiful Art Deco table or chairs or something. Like, you absolutely can, but the best part of it and the easiest part of it to decorate within your home is going to be the accessories. Now, many of you will know I have quite a few Art Deco pieces in my house, and that's something I like, and I'm not just telling you that to justify my style. I'm telling you that because it really is a great style to decorate with in an interesting way. So a little bit of the history on Art Deco is that it was the first modern style, and it was kind of created in the 1920s. We can trace it back to one specific moment in time, which is really interesting. And it was in opposition to Art Nouveau. Art Nouveau was all about the organic beauty of nature and things being asymmetric and curved lines and shapes and these sort of motifs of florals and all of this interesting, really beautiful, creative, handmade design. Art Deco took that and said, well, what's the opposite of that? Structure and angular design, perfect symmetry. So that's what you get with a lot of Art Deco. And you get this really interesting sort of modernized take on something very whimsical and traditional. It's very structured. And that's why it plays so successfully in accessories, because it bridges the divide between what's traditional and what is modern. Because you have these traditional ideas and concepts in a modern way with these beautiful sharp lines and angles, but referencing things that you wouldn't necessarily see today or more traditional aspects of design. And that's really great. Another good part about Art Deco is the actual materials used. A lot of them are authentic and noble and real, but the actual materials and colors used are a little bit more refined and could easily blend into any space. For example, bronze was more popular during the Art Deco period than silver was. And so you see a lot more bronze than you do of that like shiny, bright chrome and silver that you would see in contemporary design. Another example would be brass. You don't see a ton of brass used in Art Deco because brass is more commonly seen in organic, modern, and traditional design. So you can kind of mix all of these things together because remember, brass is a warm metal and so is bronze. So they blend in seamlessly. That's one of the really great strong suits of Art Deco design. And also you get a lot of structure, you get a lot of shape there, so you can play off of that, whether it's you want to enhance the traditional aspect of design or you want to embrace a more modern feeling. Art Deco is not back, okay? Nobody is building like Art Deco houses. Like we're kind of done with that. But the accessories in the Art Deco style, 10 out of 10, love them. Look for vases, look for jars, look for trays, look for pieces of artwork that have this motif on them to bring that into your home because it can be done in such an interesting way. It can take a traditional space and give it that modern edge, or it can take a contemporary and modern space and make it feel a little bit more timeless. And that's something that's always worth looking out for. Well, now that we've talked about some dated design and the best of each of these styles that you should be looking out for, let's talk about some more dated design that's making a comeback in 2025. And I'm so excited. Be sure you check out that video right over here, and I will see you over there.